Peace, what's up? It's your girl Nanny. This is part 2 of fluoride. Um, you have to understand that the people who are allowing all these chemicals and all this poison, and who are subjecting the people, the masses, to these chemicals and toxins, knowing that they cause more harm than they cause any good. Okay, they know this, but they're allowing it, and it's coming from actually the whole beast system. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be, the elites, but the ones that they told us who are in control of this are the Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA. Okay, the United States Food and Drug Administration is a federal agency of the Department of Health and Human Services. The FDA is responsible for protecting and promoting public health through the control and supervision of food safety, tobacco products, dietary supplements, prescription and over-the-counter pharmaceutical drugs, vaccines, biopharmaceuticals, blood transfusions, medical devices, electromagnetic radiation emitting devices, cosmetics, animal foods, and feed and veterinary products. Okay, so the FDA is responsible for allowing chemicals and toxins to be put into foods, into the water supply. Okay, they allow all this into into cosmetics, into the animals' food. They are the ones who are allowing it. You know what I'm saying? They have the power to stop all of that. They don't have to allow the water to be fluoridated. They don't have to allow genetically modified organisms to be in our food. But they are the ones who are what? Controlling it, supervising it, and they're promoting it, okay? And not the way that we think. Now, people think that the FDA is actually helping the people, but it's the opposite. The FDA are the ones who's allowing the shit. They're allowing fluoride to be put into the drinking water, knowing that fluoride is what? A neurotoxin, a poison which acts on the nervous system. Okay, the FDA knows this, but the FDA allows for this to take place. Okay, they're allowing our children to drink fluoride water, which causes more harm than any good. They allow the dentists to put fluoride on our children's teeth when it causes more harm than any good. All right, they allow all this. The Food Drug Administration. Okay. All right. Fluoridation is a bad medical practice. And before I read this, I want you to know that in other countries, not all, but most other countries, they don't allow fluoride to be placed inside the water. They don't do that. They don't allow genetically modified organisms to be put into their foods. All right, but with these makers of these foods, what they do is they will modify the whole ingredients. They will modify it for other countries who don't allow it. They will modify it, and they will put safe alternative ingredients in their foods. But here in America, we don't get that same privilege, okay? Because they want to poison us here for some reason. It's something about America that they just don't like, and they want to poison us. They want to poison everybody all across the world, honestly. But something about America, I don't know. America and parts of the UK, like for real, they really want to poison us. And I don't know why they focus their attention on America, and they change their menu up for other countries, but they don't do it here. Is I'm trying to make sense of it. What is it about America? What is it about the American people that they don't like? What? Because we are the ones who have the eyes that can see more so than other countries? I don't know. But okay, fluoride is the only chemical. It's a chemical added to the water for the purpose of medical treatment. The U.S. Food Drug Administration classifies fluoride as a drug. All right, it's a drug. So we're giving children drugs when we send them to the dentist. We're giving them drugs. Okay. When used to prevent or mitigate disease. As a matter of basic logic, adding fluoride to water for the sole purpose of preventing tooth decay, a non-waterborne disease, is a form of medical treatment. All other water treatment chemicals are added to improve the water's quality or safety, which fluoride does not. So when they add all these other contaminants, it's supposed to be to improve the water quality. But fluoride, they are just putting it simply in the water because it so-called prevents children from getting cavities. this debate about this fluoride has been going on for decades on end, but the FDA, with all the proof that's handed to them, continue pushing fluoride as being safe. Fluoridation is unethical. Informed consent is standard practice for all medication. All right, informed consent. And one of the key reasons why most of Western Europe has ruled against fluoridation with water fluoridation, and we are allowing governments to do to whole communities, forcing people to take medicine irrespective of their consent, what individual doctors cannot do to individual patients. So remember, fluoride from the FDA is classified as a drug. Okay, it's classified as a drug when used to prevent or mitigate disease. Classified as a drug, but informed consent is standard practice for all medication, and which is a drug, and one key reason why most of Western Europe has ruled against fluoridation. With water fluoridation, we are allowing governments to do to whole communities, forcing people to take medicine irrespective of their consent, what individual doctors cannot do to individual patients. So the FDA classifies fluoride as a drug. It's a drug, you know what I'm saying? And before you give anyone a drug, you know what I'm saying, you have to get their consent. No, they're not getting there. Just putting it in the goddamn water system, and they're intentionally poisoning people. Wow. People are not signing up to be poisoned, okay? People are just ignorant. Either ignorant or dumb, one or the other, okay? People don't be knowing this shit, alright? And they're putting it in the water, and they're pushing it as something that's safe, and it's safe for our children, and it's the fucking opposite. Put another way, does a voter have the right to require that their neighbor ingest a certain medication even if it's against the neighbor's will? No. No, absolutely not. The dose cannot be controlled. Once fluoride is put in the water, it is impossible to control the dose each individual receives because people drink different amounts of water. Being able to control the dose a patient receives is critical. Alright? So being able to control the dose of patients. So we're basically patients, alright? We're patients, we're the lab rats, alright? Receives is critical. So any patient that's receiving any medication, you have to control the dose, or what can happen. They can get sick, they can overdose, they can die. You know what I'm saying? Their body can break down. As to why when you take a medication, they tell you to take one pill twice so and so, or however they do it. But with fluoride, no, it can't be controlled once they put it in the water, because people are drinking water, children are drinking water, dentists are using fluoride. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The fluoride goes to everyone, regardless of age, health, or vulnerability. Okay? Water fluoridation goes against leading principles of pharmacotherapy, which is progressing from a stereotype medication of the type 1 tablet 3 times a day to a much more individualized therapy as regards to both dosage and selection of drugs. The addition of drugs to the drinking water means exactly the opposite of an individual therapy. That we gotta understand, these people are wicked. They don't care about us. They don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing half the shit that they're doing. People now receive fluoride from many other sources besides water. Fluoridated water is not the only way people are exposed to fluoride. Other sources of fluoride include food and beverages processed with fluoridated water. Okay? Fluoridated dental products, mechanically deboned meat, and pesticide residues on food. It is now widely acknowledged that exposure to non-water sources of fluoride has significantly increased since the water fluoridation program first began. Fluoride is not an essential nutrient. It's not a nutrient at all, period. It's not giving you any nutrients to your body. It's damaging your body, okay? It's causing harm to your body. No disease, not even tooth decay, is caused by a fluoride deficiency. Do you hear that? No disease, not even tooth decay, is caused by a fluoride deficiency. So you don't need fluoride for anything. for nothing. You don't need it. It's just there. You don't need it. You don't need it, okay? Not even tooth decay is caused by a fluoride deficiency, but yet and still, who is allowing it? The beast system, the FDA, the Food Drug Administration is allowing fluoride to be put into the water across America. Not a single biological process has been shown to require fluoride. On the contrary, there is extensive evidence that fluoride can interfere with many important biological processes. Fluoride interferes with numerous enzymes. In combination with aluminum, fluoride interferes with G proteins. Such interactions give aluminum fluoride complexes the potential to interfere with signals from growth factors, hormones, and neurotransmitters. More and more studies indicate that fluoride can interfere with biochemistry in fundamental ways, but yet they're all ignored. All the evidence is ignored by the FDA because they refuse to listen to anyone. They're supposed to be the soul. They want to be the experts. They want to dictate what can go inside of food, what can go inside the water, what can be inside of cosmetics, what can go on your clothes, what can go on your everyday products. You know what I'm saying? They decide this, okay? The level in mother's milk is very low. The level of fluoride in mother's milk is very low. Considering reason number 6, it's perhaps not surprising that the level of fluoride in mother's milk is remarkably low. This means that a bottle-fed baby consuming fluoridated water can get up to 300 times more fluoride than a breastfed baby. There are no benefits, only risks for infants ingesting this heightened level of fluoride at such an early age. I can't, man. This is sad. Fluoride accumulates in the body. Healthy adult kidneys excrete 50 to 60% of the fluoride ingested each day. The remainder accumulates in the body, largely in calcifying tissues such as the bones and the pineal gland. Infants and children excrete less fluoride from their kidneys and take up to 80% of ingested fluoride into their bones. The fluoride concentration in bones steadily increases over a lifetime. That's why people have weakened bones when they get older. They have weak bones when they get older. The worst thing that can happen to an elderly person when they're old and up in age is fall and break a goddamn bone, because their bones are very weak. Their bones have been calcified. They're very weak, okay? Very, very weak. And it's easy for an elderly person to break their bones, okay? My daughter works in the medical field. She told me that. She said that's the worst thing that can happen to an elderly person is for them to fall and for them to break their bone. Because once that happens, they go downhill. They wind up going downhill because their bones are frail. They're fragile. They're weak. They're calcified. And most likely from the goddamn fluoride. And fluoride has been around. The exact year that it started, I have to look that up, but it's been around for decades on end, okay? So even though our grandparents and stuff are outliving us, they were exposed to, they outlived us because they weren't exposed to as much as we were exposed to, but yet and still they were exposed to fluoride because fluoride has been around for a very long time, for decades. So that's why when people get older, it's dangerous for them to fall and have a bone to break. That's very dangerous. Alright, swallowing fluoride provides no or very little benefit. No, it provides no benefit, period. Benefit is topical, not systematic. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has now acknowledged that the mechanism of fluoride's benefits are mainly topical, not systemic. Oh, please, there is no need whatsoever, therefore, to swallow fluoride to protect teeth. Since the purported benefit of fluoride is topical and the risks are systemic, it makes more sense to deliver the fluoride directly to the tooth in the form of a toothpaste. Since swallowing fluoride is unnecessary and potentially dangerous, there is no justification for forcing people against their will to ingest fluoride through their water supply. And even putting it in a toothpaste is detrimental, period. And I'm going to get into that. Fluoridation is not necessary. It's not necessary. It's just something that they want to do to poison the people. That's why they put, I'm going to tell you why they put fluoride in the water. They put it in the water because they want to poison us, okay? It has nothing to do with preventing cavities. We know that these people are wicked. Come on now. We know. We should know that they're wicked and they're poisoning everything. Everything. Everything that they touch, they destroy. Everything they touch, they poison, okay? We know that they want to poison us slowly, just like with vaccines. When they inject people with those vaccines, it's a slow process, okay? Most industrialized countries have rejected water fluoridation, but have nevertheless experienced the same decline in childhood dental decay as fluoridated countries. Look at this. Tooth decay is high in low-income communities that have been fluoridated for years, for decades, okay? Despite some claims to the contrary, water fluoridation cannot prevent the oral health crisis that result from rampant poverty, inadequate nutrition, and lack of access to dental care. There have been numerous reports of severe dental crisis in low-income neighborhoods of the U.S. cities that have been fluoridated for over 20 years. In addition, research has repeatedly found fluoridation to be ineffective at preventing the most serious oral health problem facing poor children, namely baby bottle tooth decay, otherwise known as early childhood caries. Tooth decay does not go up when fluoridation is stopped. Where fluoridation has been discontinued in communities from Canada, the former East Germany, Cuba, and Finland, dental decay has not increased but has generally continued to decrease. Tooth decay was coming down before fluoridation started. Modern research shows that decay rates were coming down before fluoridation was introduced in Australia and New Zealand and have continued to decline, even after its benefits would have been maximized. As the following figure indicates, many other factors are responsible for the decline of tooth decay that has been universally reported throughout the Western world. And guess what? Fluoridated water was not one of them. Children are being overexposed to fluoride. Yes, they are. The fluoridation program has massively failed to achieve one of its key objectives: lower dental decay rates while limiting the occurrence of dental fluorosis. Okay, and we're going to get into that too in a minute. Alright, so I just wanted to read over that information and let you know that there's more cons than pros to fluoride and put into the water. Excuse me. The fluoride lie, because that's what it is a big lie. Okay, it's a big lie. Alright, now this article was written in 2016, and since 2016 nothing has changed. Nothing. It's articles that I read from 2006 and nothing has changed. From 2003 nothing has changed. 2007 nothing has changed. Nothing is changing. They're still fluoridating the goddamn water. The FDA is allowing this shit. Alright. So a little history. I can list hundreds of points of fact, but I think 3 quick stories provide enough evidence to justify. Alright. I read about the study that followed 5,000 children in Ontario and another 5,000 children in Quebec from the time they were young children until they were 18 years old to see how many cavities they got over their young life. Fluoride was added to the water in Ontario, but not to the water in Quebec. The results of the study show that the kids in Quebec average only 1/2 more cavity than the kids of the kids in Ontario. When you think about it, being forced to drink poison for your entire life to save 1/2 cavity seems like a high price to pay, and it definitely is a very high price to pay. They're killing our children. They're harming our children. That's our most precious, our most vulnerable. So yes, that is a high price to pay. Shoot, it's no price. You can't put a price on a child's life, period. Then we have the statement by the gentleman that was instrumental in the policy of municipalities adding fluoride to water, who later recanted and said it was the worst decision he had ever made in his life. Don't you hate when they do that? One minute they're for something, the next minute they want to speak out against it, and they're against it after they're on poison the goddamn world. Oh, please. Oh, please. Then we have the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, who set the maximum limit of fluoride level in the municipal water supplies at 1.2 ppm parts per million. A number of years ago, the EPA suggested but didn't mandate that the maximum level of fluoride should be reduced to 0.7 ppm, and most municipalities complied. Why would the EPA mandate maximum amounts of fluoride and then later reduce the amount by almost half, if fluoride in the water was okay? If it was so great, why would they do that? Because they know, listen, they're getting too much heat from this fluoride. They've been getting heat for decades, but you know, these people do what the hell they want to do. Okay, because they're the ones who control the system. So they're, regardless of how many complaints they get, they're still, at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want. It has to take consistency. People have to be consistent and stay on these goddamn demons back for even a little bit of change to happen. Okay? So, that and fluoride, the shocking chronological history. Fluoride, I'm going to read these three. Fluoride is the main ingredient in rat poison. Okay? Fluoride, the main ingredient in rat poison. And they're putting it into the water supply. They even make special water that they sell in stores for babies to drink that has fluoride in it. Okay? Fluoride is the main ingredient in sarin nerve gas. Fluoride is the main ingredient in Prozac. Okay? Fluoride destroys the brain, accumulates the pineal gland, the bones, the organs, and causes what? Cancer. So when people are getting cancer and they don't know how they got cancer, they could be the health conscious they could be a health conscious person. They could eat right and they can still end up getting cancer because they're putting too much poison. They're bombarding the people with poison. Okay? These special people specialize in poison, chemicals, toxins. Okay? They specialize in that shit because they're the ones who created it and they're the ones who put it. You think God created this poison? God didn't create this shit. God didn't create poisons and chemtrails and toxins and chemicals, stuff that's detrimental to this earth and stuff that's detrimental to us, the people. God did not do that. God wanted us to live a beautiful, prosperous life, okay, without poison and chemicals. But then man came, these evil, goddamn, wicked, demonic devils came, and they decided that they wanted to do the opposite of what God was, which was beautiful and cleanliness and fruit and wanted the people to be fruitful. They came and they did everything the opposite way. And that's why we have so much goddamn poison. That's why we have something called the Food Drug Administration, so they can control how much poison they're putting into the people. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so pineal gland calcification. Alright, so classification of pineal gland. The pineal gland is responsible for producing melatonin, a derivative of serotonin that will promote seasonal functions and the wake and sleep schedule of the body. As you age, the pineal gland can become calcified using calcium phosphate to develop over the gland. Alright? Alright, as a calcifying tissue that is exposed to high volumes of blood flow, the pineal gland is the major target for what? Fluoride accumulation in humans. In fact, the calcified parts of the pineal gland contain the highest fluoride concentrations in the human body, up to 21,000 ppm. And I think the recommended amount is like 0.05 or 0.07, something like that. But it said 21,000 ppm stored in the human body. Wow. Higher than either bone or teeth. Wow, that's messed up, man. Fluoride's effect on the pineal gland. Pineal functions, health outcomes, why the pineal gland, calcifying effect, how to decalcify. Alright, so let's get into it. Fluoride's effect on the pineal gland. Through the pineal gland's unique feature in fluoride's toxic and reactive nature, the fluoride pineal gland relationship was bound to fail from the start. Okay, because you can't go creating chemicals and you can't go putting it into people's bodies and think that certain parts of the body is not going to be affected, resulting in the pineal gland to become fluoride's #1 victim. Damn shame. What does the pineal gland do? The pineal gland is a tiny pine cone shaped gland located in between the two hemispheres of the brain and outside the blood-brain barrier. Alright? The main function of the pineal gland is to synthesize and secrete the hormone melatonin. Melatonin is used to perform 3 main roles: maintain the circadian rhythm, sleep-wake cycle, regulate the onset of puberty in females, help protect the body from cell damage caused by free radicals. And we know that free radicals are what? They can cause cancer if they're not controlled. Okay? When the pineal gland is not producing melatonin or not enough of it, the body then cannot perform these vital roles. When these vital roles are not performed, this leads to cascading domino-like effect in the body. Okay, calcification of the pineal gland. It was only until the 1990s that a British scientist discovered that fluoride accumulates to strikingly high levels in the pineal gland, more in the pineal gland than any other soft tissue in the body. The accumulation of fluoride forms phosphate crystals, creating a thick shell around the pineal gland called calcification. Once the pineal gland is calcified, it causes it to become underactive, okay, resulting in less melatonin production. And you need the melatonin production for what? To maintain the circadian rhythm, your sleep-wake cycle, regulate the onset of puberty in females, help protect the body from cell damage caused by free radicals. Why does fluoride accumulate in the pineal gland? The pineal gland has several characteristics unique to itself that attracts the accumulation of fluoride. Okay? Main reasons fluoride accumulates in the pineal gland: large amount of blood flow located outside the blood barrier, high calcium concentration. Okay? Since the pineal cells require direct and unimpeded contact with blood to perform its functions, it's located outside the body-brain barrier, directly exposes the pineal gland to fluoride circulating in the body. This leaves the pineal gland vulnerable and without any protection. Okay? The pineal gland also holds the second richest capillary network right after the kidney, resulting in lots of contact with blood through the tremendous amount of blood flow delivered by connecting capillaries. Lastly, it does not help the pineal gland holds the highest calcium concentration of any normal tissue in the body, as explained in What is Fluoride? Fluoride's negatively charged and reactive nature means it loves to react with positively charged ions in the body. Okay? And that's with most chemicals. They always want to attack the good things in the body, the things that are crucial to us. And you think these devils don't know that? They know that. Making fluoride the best suited substance to damage the pineal gland. Damn shame. When there is less melatonin produced, the first thing to take a hit is the quality of your sleep. So if you notice that you're not getting decent sleep, or you're not getting enough sleep, or you're waking up and you can't go back to sleep, it could be maybe your pineal gland is calcified, or it could be getting there, you know what I'm saying? So you want to try to do something to reverse that. And one thing you can do is stop drinking fluoridated water, stop using that damn toothpaste, and stop eating foods that may have fluoride in it. Early puberty. In the United States and Canada, children are reaching the age of puberty at early ages, and that's because the stuff that they're putting inside of the foods, okay? Evidence suggests that fluoride exposure reduce melatonin levels and shorten the time the time to puberty. Wow, that's sad, man. Heightened risk for breast cancer. The way early puberty is linked with breast cancer is by being an established risk factor for breast cancer, influencing a woman's lifetime estrogen exposure. Swinging back to melatonin, a powerful chemical, is also known to fight and halt the spread of different types of cancer, free radicals, with a unique effect on breast cancer cells, as melatonin is capable of disrupting estrogen mediated pathways, resulting in the net reduction of estrogenic stimulation of cells. This means decreasing levels of melatonin in turn strips the body of ammunition it would have otherwise used to decrease breast carcinogens. Increase oxidative stress, as discussed in What Does Fluoride Do to the Brain? One of the several effects fluoride has on the brain is elevating oxidative stress. This is typically observed in the subject's brain with three distinct characteristics. Fluoride exposure decreases the level of antioxidant enzymes in the brain. Antioxidants enzymes play a role as a natural defense against oxidative stress in the body. Fluoride exposure increases the level of lipid peroxidation in the brain. These toxic effects were reduced by simultaneously treatment with antioxidant vitamins, vitamin C and E. Now it is probable that the increased oxidative stress observed in fluoride treatment subjects is related to fluoride's effect on the pineal gland. So I just really want you to understand that this fluoride in the water is very problematic. It's fluoride in anything is very problematic in the water and in the toothpaste that our children are using, okay? And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But we have to understand that we are being bombarded with poisons on every level, okay? It's not just the vaccines, it's the foods, it's our everyday items that we purchase from the store, it's the clothes that we put on our body, it's everything. They are poisoning us in every way. So we can avoid it. We need to find ways to try to avoid these poisons that they're pushing on the people, okay? Alright. So alright, I wanted to read this little part right here. Despite all the evidence, proponents of water fluoridation are still calling scientific research that shows fluoride to be toxic conspiracy theories. And don't they always? And the conspiracy theorists are always right. We always prove them wrong. Every time they say something is a conspiracy theory, it turns out to be right. So we know that's some bullshit. But the world is waking up. Yes, the world is waking up. And I really need y'all to wake up to all the poisons that they're bombarding us with. Not just fluoride. It's poisons from every angle. But fluoride is just that one that's very detrimental for real. Fun fact, number one, 98% of Western Europe has now rejected water fluoridation. And their children's teeth are just as healthy as children's teeth in the U.S. Fun fact, too, since 1997, the FDA requires all fluoride toothpaste sold in the U.S. to carry a warning, and I'm going to get to that. And the reason why the FDA required for them to carry a warning is because a tube of toothpaste contains enough fluoride to kill a small child, and most young children swallow some toothpaste while brushing their teeth. But even if you don't swallow your toothpaste, unhealthy levels of fluoride are still absorbed sublingually through the capillaries under your tongue and go directly into your bloodstream. So listen, when your children are brushing their teeth, they say use a pea size, right? Use a pea size of toothpaste. When you see these commercials, how much toothpaste they be putting on? They be putting on they cover all the bristles on the toothbrush. That's not a pea size, all right, for one. And your children are brushing their teeth, and we know children don't know how to spit out quite like we do, all right? They don't know how to do that, and even if they did, they're still ingesting fluoride is still seeping in through their capillaries under their tongue and go directly into what? Their bloodstream. So they're still, regardless if they did use a pea size of fluoride toothpaste, they're still going to ingest the fluoride. Okay? Another interesting tidbit: bottled water companies are not required to disclose what type of filtration they use, if any. Don't believe the natural mountain spring hype. Many of them are simply selling you tap water with fluoride in it. Okay? So if you know somebody who knows how to test water, and you get some spring water from the store, get them to test the water out for you and let you know what contaminants are actually in that spring water that they claim to have gotten straight from the springs and is free of contaminants and free of chemicals. They're lying to you, because most bottled water in the stores, regardless of what's on the fucking label, is nothing but goddamn tap water. Alright? And some of the bottles that they are putting it in are laced with BPA, and that's a whole nother video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start making videos of all their goddamn poisons. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make videos about all their poisons, because there's a lot of cans and bottles and all types of shit that's laced with BPA. Alright, and I'm gonna do a video on that shit, because that shit is serious as well. I'm gonna do a video on all their goddamn poisons. Since they want to poison us, how about I expose it all? Oh my goodness. Cooking with tap water. Alright, cooking with tap water. The main reason not to cook with tap water is that it concentrates the fluoride, which then binds to the vegetables you're about to eat. So you think when you boil your water, now when you boil your water, it can get rid of other contaminants, but fluoride is just that one that will not go away. It's gonna actually move the fluoride. It's going to build the fluoride up in the water, and like it said, it's going to seep into your vegetables that you're about to eat when you cook with tap water. Oh my gosh, man, these people are sick. Alright, and here are some simple stuff that you can do to reduce your exposure to fluoride, and I'm going to get to that soon. But I want you to understand that they say fluoride protects children from getting cavities, and fluoride is so well and so good, it works wonders for children's teeth. Alright, and if it's directed simply at children, then why are you putting it in a water supply? Why not parents? They sell fluoridated water in the stores. Why not just let the parents go buy some fluoridated water so their children can drink it, instead of putting it in a goddamn water supply? You see that? See how it don't make sense? See their logic? Their logic is all the way flawed. But anyway, fluorine equals fluorosis, okay? So when they're putting fluoride in the water, your children, it's not protecting your children's teeth, it's causing fluorosis on the teeth. So if you look at these pictures right here, and if your children exhibit any of these marks or anything, that means they have fluorosis on their teeth from what? Fluoride, okay? Fluorosis on the teeth comes from fluoride. You know, fluoride that the FDA has deemed safe to put in the drinking water across America for children to prevent cavities in children? Really? Oh my goodness. See how they do? See how they do? Oh my goodness. People are so wicked. Now, Pete, I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this and listen to this doctor. Listen to him. Listen. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to make a part 2 because this video is getting kind of long. So it's going to be a part 2. Part 3. Sorry, I apologize. There's going to be a part 3 because I'm at 39 minutes and I don't want this to drag out. So I have to make a part 3. And what I'm going to show you next is going to be an eye-opener for people who actually like to use Crest and Colgate and all the conventional toothpastes that they put on the shelves in Walmart and, you know, Target and all your other stores that sell that goddamn poison.